Hare Krishna. So Krishna, he described very clearly that the living entity, when he has come to this material world, he is conditioned by the three modes of material nature, that is goodness, passion and ignorance. Now Krishna is going to elaborate one by one about how a living entity gets conditioned mode of goodness, in passion and in ignorance. So now Krishna is going to speak exclusively about conditioning in goodness. So let's see that in Shloka number 6. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagha. So here Krishna is saying, O Anagha, O sinless one, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat. The mode of goodness, that is Sattva Guna, is more purer, is Nirmalatvat as compared to others. And what is the effect of that? Prakashakam Anamayam. It is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Sukha Sangena Badhnati Jnana Sangena Cha. Those situated in this mode, what is the problem? What is the conditioning? It is conditioned by sukha, that is sense of happiness, and jnana, that is knowledge. So basically Krishna is saying here, the ones who are in mode of goodness, prominently in mode of goodness, they are conditioned by the sense of being happy and the sense of being knowledgeable. A very, very important shloka to understand that how even in mode of goodness, the person cannot break the cycle of birth and death. Here it is said, the living entities conditioned by material nature are of various types. One is happy, another is very active, and another is helpless. All these types of psychological manifestations are causes of entities' conditioned status in nature. So we'll see these different categories of people. Some are very happy and satisfied, some are hyperactive, going around running and running and running, and some are helpless and lazy. So they are all conditioned by the three modes of material nature, and one of the modes will be prominent, either goodness, passion or ignorance. So now we are discussing the personalities or people who are conditioned by mode of goodness prominently. So here it is said that the effect of developing the mode of goodness in the material world is that one becomes wiser than those otherwise conditioned. A man in the mode of goodness is not so much affected by material miseries, and he has a sense of advancement in material knowledge. So these people who are there, who are in mode of goodness, somehow by Lord's mercy, their previous activities have been pious, and they're pretty pious, they're having good pious credits. So because of that, the material miseries are very less. They will not have miseries or some shortage when it comes to food, shelter, clothing, or when it comes to the health issues or whatever. So they are the ones who have comparatively less miseries. Miseries will be there, but comparatively less. So because of that, what happens? In this world, when the absence of misery is there, people consider it as happiness. So they have that sense of happiness that yes, I'm happy. And another thing that happens with them is, since they are pious, they get various other things. Like it is said by Kunti Maharani that Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta and Shri, these four are given to pious people. So Janma is high birth, Janma Aishwarya is opulence, wealth, then Janma Aishwarya, Shruta, good education, and Shri, beauty. So here, this Shruta, that is there, the education. So this education that they get, and somehow they are able to grasp also various things, the various material knowledge that is there. They feel that they have advanced very much in knowledge, that is material knowledge. So here it is said that the representative type is the Brahmana. Now Brahmana is in the mode of goodness. The sense of happiness is due to understanding that in the mode of goodness, one is more or less free from sinful reactions. Actually, in Vedic literature, it is said that the mode of goodness means greater knowledge and greater sense of happiness. So the person in past lives, he has been a bit pious. I'm talking about the material piety, not spiritual piety. So materially pious. So not much of the sins done. So not very sinful. Very little amount of some sinful reactions might be there. So such a person, for sure, he will not have much suffering materially. He will not have much suffering. So automatically the sense of happiness will manifest. He will have a good family. He will have good, honest, humble children, a very nice wife or husband, good relatives, monetarily not much problem, and so many other things when it comes to the material platform. So pretty good, pretty stable. But it's a problem. It's a big problem. We see many people like this who are materially very much satisfied, and because of that something great or some great disaster happens in their life. What is that? Let's discover that now. The difficulty here is that when a living entity is situated in the mode of goodness, he becomes conditioned to feel that he is advanced in knowledge and is better than others. In this way, he becomes conditioned. Now, when he has more knowledge, he thinks that he is advanced in knowledge. And what happens? I am better than everyone. The pride creeps in. And he's already attached. He's attached, for being by the sense of happiness. So this attachment and jnana, the attachment and the pride, because of having the knowledge, the attachment and pride, they're actually symptom of passion. So slowly the person gets drifted. And what happens? The same jnana becomes a source of ajnana. This is pretty humorous, but this is what is the fact. Here it is said, the best examples are the scientists and philosophers. Each is very proud of his knowledge, and because of they generally improve their living conditions, they feel a sort of material happiness. This sense of advanced happiness in conditional life makes them bound by the mode of goodness of material nature. As such, they are attracted towards working in the mode of goodness, and as long as they have an attraction for working in that way, they have to take some type of body in the modes of nature. So this is what happens. Now people who are in the mode of goodness, working in the mode of goodness, feeling that I'm more advanced than others in knowledge and so on and so forth. So because of that, what happens? They feel they are pretty satisfied. And then suppose they have more material knowledge, they learn more also, because they might have some skills and all that talent, etc. So because of all this, the person becomes satisfied in this world and he thinks he's settled in this world. And actually, because of this conditioning of being happy and being so-called knowledgeable person, the person becomes settled in this material world for a long, long time. Because now, this person has to take birth after birth after birth. Maybe in the mode of goodness bodies, but still he has to take birth. Still he's shackled in this world. This is what is the thing that we need to understand. But this shackle, the problem is this shackle is made up of gold. The shackle chain which is there, they're made up of gold, and the person thinks, oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. So it's very clear from this particular shloka that even people in the mode of goodness are conditioned, and because of their conditioning, they will never explore devotional service. And it will be very difficult for them to take up devotional service. But the ones who take it up, they have, already they are very pious. Already the things are very nice. So once they take up devotional service, they can just march very fast on this path. But to take up to devotional service, the person will keep thinking, no, anyways I'm happy. Why should I do this? Why should I do that? Oh, what is the need of discussing about suffering and death and other things? I don't have any suffering as such. Sometimes such people go on to say that, see, as of now, I don't need Krishna. Everything is good in my life. Such is the precarious condition of the mode of goodness personalities. So here it is said, thus there is no likelihood of liberation or being transferred to spiritual world. Repeatedly one may become a philosopher, a scientist or a poet, and repeatedly become entangled in the same disadvantages of birth and death, but due to illusion of material energy, one thinks that that sort of life is pleasant and he'll remain settled in this world. Now this is about mode of goodness people. They are conditioned badly by what? By sense of happiness and sense of being advanced in material knowledge. what is the conditioning of the person in the mode of passion? So let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna.